Hello, I'm Carla Osborne, one of the faculty members in the Computer Technologies Division, and I teach courses in the Advertising and Graphic Design curriculum. One of those classes, GRD 121, Drawing Fundamentals, is the course I selected for EPIC 110. I'll walk you through it in order of the Blackboard menu options, arranged according to EPIC Standard Navigation. First, many thanks to Doug Hummer for his patience, flexibility, and guidance. He gave me a lot of helpful feedback and explained the logic behind suggestions and approaches. We started with the announcement section, which I use quite a bit with both my online and seated classes. I pinned the first announcement of the semester, the instructions on getting started, and a getting started video I created at the top of the section with a course link leading to getting started. Adding the video helps create a sense that students aren't taking a class by themselves and a real person will be there to interact and answer questions. In the Getting Started section, I left the course syllabus at the top, along with a Getting Started video and message, but I tailored my text to better reflect what's contained in the course. For example, I had text that mentioned a final exam. Since redeveloping the class, there are no quizzes or exams. All grades are project-based. This is an oversight that probably a lot of us are guilty of from semester to semester. I'll often copy material from one Blackboard shell to another, and I don't read it as thoroughly as I should. I also went into more detail about time expectations. Drawing classes require a lot of work, and what's expected for the collaboration discussion forum and reflective journal assignments. In this section, I also went into a more detailed explanation of grading, and in the lessons, I made the rubric available with the assignments. I also updated the tips for online success. In the faculty information section, I added a few more personal tidbits to make me seem more approachable and relatable as an instructor. I also added a welcome YouTube video link here. Next, let's navigate to lessons. This is where I did the most work. I left the course calendar in place at the top, along with a note about attendance. Even though I had divided the work into 16 separate folders, one for each week of the semester, and labeled each with a date, there was no indication which week or lesson contained which specific assignment. If I wanted to quickly access the self-portrait lesson, for example, and had not committed to memory which lesson folder that was in, I would have to open each folder and scroll through the materials. Simply adding a brief description allows me and students to locate that assignment in Lesson 10. Since our department is all about graphics, we were already using icons to aid with metacognition. We also use graphics to liven up the lessons and are sticklers for consistent formatting. But making sure that the lesson materials were in sequence with the numbered tasks was a change that made logical sense. Doug made many good suggestions on how to improve the course materials, and repeating the information about what is expected for the collaboration discussion board post was one of those. When students are interacting and giving feedback on something that's subjective, sometimes they're timid and they take the easy way out with a lot of attaboys. So reminding them to post something more substantial will hopefully nudge them more toward constructive critiquing. The assignment submission area contains the instructions for the assignment, along with the submission, which was something our group was implementing before this review. But providing rubrics for the assignments makes good sense, and I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. So, thanks, Doug. Continuing our tour of GRD 121, let's navigate to the collaboration discussion board. Most instructors post a student help section. I also posted a virtual class critique online coffee house in hopes that students would have a place to share work without the pressure of grading. For the icebreaker, introductions in the collaboration discussion board are handled in a similar manner. It can be intimidating to introduce yourself to a group of strangers, even online. I gave students the option of including a piece of artwork they had created, or an image from a favorite artist, an illustration from a children's book, or a drawing by someone else they know. My reasoning is I didn't want students to feel their ability was being judged, especially since this is a foundations class. The reflective journal was added to create an outlet for students to share their progress in the class one-on-one with the instructor. Moving on to course resources, you'll see this is pretty standard across Wake Tech. We've added a few things that are course specific, such as another place to find the syllabus and schedule, but also the required materials. Here are some resources that are repeated in other sections. As they say in advertising, tell them you're going to tell them, then tell them again. This review was a good chance to think about how these lessons provide opportunities for student interaction with both the instructor and other students, a review of the SLOs and how they match up with the tasks in each lesson, and it provided a good review of accessibility and other EPIC considerations. Thanks to the EPIC team, and again Doug Hummer, for making this an enjoyable learning experience.